Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the voice of radio's finest, Gabriel Specter. And this is What's Happening Abuja? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying with us. This is What's Happening in Abuja show right here on this style. Your best, the best talk radio show right here in Nigeria. Yep, I said it. Right here in Nigeria and, of course, in the nation's capital. You know that any information you get here, you can take to the bank, all right? And in case you're wondering who this is Gabriel Specter, radio's finest, and it is Town Hall meeting segment of What's Happening in Abuja. We do this every Monday from 10 a.m. to thereabout 11, sometimes a little extended because there's so much to talk about the nation's capital. And I mean, I have lots of information to share with you as regards your city, which I think you should know about. I was going to share this with you, but we had to go for the information from our commercial partners at EGG. All right, quite a number of interesting issues making the rounds this morning. But you should know that the U.S. Embassy and consulate are closed for today. So the U.S. Embassy in Abuja has officially locked its gates today, Monday, May 25. And the mission announced that all routine consular services, visa processing, and American citizen services are completely suspended in observance of the U.S. Memorial Day holiday. All right, so that's some information that I think you should know. And also, the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, PLAC, have issued a blistering public memo demanding an immediate, unequivocal retraction and apology from the minister. The coalition strongly condemned the minister for this is quite some time ago, but a plaque is taking it up. I don't know if you saw that particular incident between Shion Okimbaloyi of I think Channels. Yes,
Honorable Minister Wike.
Exactly. So plaque not letting that slide. Even though there was a lot of backlash at the time, Nigerian Union of Journalists also came up and said the minister should apologize. The minister said, well, there's, some level of camaraderie between himself and these, broadcasters. But plaque are saying that there should be some sanctity and sanity to public service. Well, that is all for debate because some people say, after all, they're friends. I do not know about that. All right. So let's get right into the town hall this morning. And as is custom recently, as we've begun to do now, quite a number of issues we bring on the table up for discussion on the show. And we talk about these issues together as a big family. And that's why we call it town hall meeting. All right. So this is a town hall meeting. So we have quite a number of stories up on table for discussion this morning. And we'll start with the first one. This one, quite interesting. FCT Emergency Agency warns residents near waterways to relocate. Do I say it again? Those at the back, can you hear me? FCT Emergency Agency warns residents near waterways to relocate. Now, I know you've heard what I said, and you're wondering, Gabriel, how is that even possible? Well, that's the wrong question, if you ask me. Right question, or the place to start from, is why do we have people in the first place living
that kind of place
near waterways?
Near waterways.
All right, so let's see what the statement is saying. It says the Acting Director General of the Federal Capital Territory Emergency Management Department, Abdurrahman Mohammed, has appealed to residents living close to water channels to consider relocating as the rainy season intensifies. The appeal followed a flooding incident in the early hours of Friday at a one-story building located at 22 Anthony Ikem Street behind Blue Cubana Hotel in Mabushi district of the Federal Capital Territory, where they call town. In a statement signed by the head of public affairs, Nkechi Issa, the FEMD said the overnight downpour led to the flooding of the ground floor of the building. The agency disclosed that it received a distress call at about 3 a.m. and immediately deployed its search and rescue team to the scene. According to the statement, both flats on the ground floor were submerged up to window level. Mazi, there's a lot to unpack in this particular issue. We're talking about drainage system?
Yeah.
Talking about the new style of buildings, because now this kind of thing, now Lagos with this kind of thing, and rivers. But it says the ground floor, all of it was submerged to the window level, while responders were forced to manually evacuate water after the generator powering the pumping machine failed. The generator that was pumping water out of the compound failed. They had to start using bowls to manually
remove water.
remove water. Now, the report says, although no life was lost, the flood destroyed household items, food supplies, and documents belonging to residents. The statements concluded, and I'm quoting, meanwhile, the Acting Director General of FEMD, Abdurrahman Mohammed, has appealed to residents living close to water channels to relocate as the rainy season intensifies. He also called for the clearing of blocked drains and the removal of structures built on water channels. In recent years, parts of Abuja have experienced recurrent flash flooding during the peak of the rainy season, often linked to blocked drainage system. I put something on my WhatsApp yesterday. I saw it and I reshared it on my WhatsApp status. These bottles, where would they drop for roadside? Okay. Mazi, let me come to you, sir. Let it not be said that we did not make noise or we didn't warn. But there's so much to unpack in this particular issue, Mazi.
Yeah.
But let me hear from you. What are your thoughts on this issue?
Well, let me start by saying good morning to Abuja and good morning, Gaby. A big thank you to the organization for making the announcement and asking people to leave the waterways. But at the same time, who allowed people to build on waterways? I think that is where we are supposed to start from. It's okay for a government agency to come out every rainy season and ask people to leave, certain places where they are living. But how come during the dry season, what did you do to make sure that those houses are no longer there? The challenge we had with some of these people, even around the Lokogome area, is that sometimes they will go in, demolish structures that are not supposed to be in some places, and you don't move those the debris or whatever from that place. At the end of the day, the purpose of demolishing the houses is defeated because you've not removed that, you didn't clear the waterway. So when flood comes, it won't see where to the channel to follow to go to wherever it's supposed to go. Well, at the end of the day, it will affect other houses that are also built on approved places. The water will also, the flood will also block the roads. We lost a deputy director, some few years ago, who I think on his way to the airport. I can't remember again the full story, but some of our callers, it was a big news that time. a whole director. We lost that man in flooding. So we need to start asking who allowed people to build in that place. Sometime in Kobo, around phase 4 and so on, there used to be, during rainy season, you have this over flooding. Water will just move into houses and so on. But they did something. Demolish some of those houses. It was even close to where I was living then with my friend. Demolish some of those houses. They cleared that place. It has reduced in Kubwa. I don't know what will happen this year. We understand. But I think some of these other areas like Lokogoma and some other places, they need to do something. But Gabriel, I've observed something also in FCT, and it's disturbing. If you are going to where PDP, they have their presidential campaign house that is close to the house. There is this house where they keep the president before he's sworn in, close to MTN office in Maitama.
Okay, yeah, Maitama.
There used to be this empty land there that is supposed to be like a center to collect water or rain water during a rainy season. I'm seeing massive construction in those areas, both on this side and on the other side where you have the CBN training school. You understand what I'm saying? Close to one Anglican church. If we have these big structures in those places, are we not also creating problem? I don't know how the current administration approved of this building. That place is a very vast place. During rainy season, in fact, you can even see it to look like a stream. Now you are building massive, I'm not talking of small houses, so massive construction is going on in those places. I think that is also going to affect, if you are telling the other people who are building in other places, these other ones, so what happens? Because I know that place is supposed to collect water from some places in Maitama and Wuse area. Now that you have structures in that place, what happens?
I mean, that's a very big, $1 million question, Mazin. But maybe these places were never meant for public service. They're meant to be sold for residential buildings in the first place. I'm just saying, I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying. However,
sorry, Gaby.
Yes.
What you said could be true, but that place has been, I'm talking about places where people even did something like garden. When Erufai came, he cleared some of those places. They are waterways. In fact, you still have some of those places in Gwarempa. Now we have buildings in those areas now as I'm talking. Some of our callers will tell you that there were big houses in that place. Erufai demolished those places because if you have houses in those places, when you have excess water from rain in Gwarempa, they are supposed to come to that place. But people built houses. Erufai leveled those places. Do you understand me? Now, houses are
springing up.
We have houses in those areas. So this particular one I'm talking about, there is no way anybody will allocate the, if you see it, it's like it's swampy, so to speak. It's like a swamp.
Maybe the FCT.
There is no way you had a minister, more than 3, 4, 5 ministers, and they didn't allocate that place. You didn't see anything like fence.
And now there's allocation.
Now you have allocation.
Maybe the FCT has special plans on drainage that we don't know about.
I just hope there is underground tunnel. That is the only solution from what I saw. I hope so.
Hopefully. But these respective areas have been mentioned as areas that we should look out for. So if you stay in these areas, I think it's important. In fact, the question is there any conversation ongoing? Has anything been done to ensure that there's no experience of flash flood? To the extent that it costs properties, it costs people to lose properties, possession, and whatnot when the rains intensify. Mabushi extension around the area that was mentioned, just behind the Blue Cabana Hotel, that also around Trademore Estate, Lugbe Axis, Lukogoma district, especially the estates bordering the natural water channels. Also, Gwagolada Central, communities near the Usuma River bank, as well as Karishi and Yanya. Now, there's some areas in that axis that are sort of in the valley, if I can put it that way. Low-lying structures built directly over local drainage channels, and those ones that are the receiving end of the valley, if I can call it like that. Gwagwa and Jiwad, where rapid unplanned urban structures have completely blocked natural water runoff. These are some of the areas that have been pointed at that people should be very careful about. So, if you stay in any of these areas, what has been done? Is there any interaction with your ward councillor or with your area council chairman as regards flooding in that particular area? Or maybe this report is entirely wrong and you all are very good, you are okay, no wahala, badamwa in your area. I mean, it's important if there's an, Mazi, it's possible that there's an update.
Yeah,
you guys have fixed it and nothing to worry about, because
nothing to worry about.
These are some of the things that actually affect aerial developments. Some areas develop faster than others. Why? Because not just about the fine buildings, also about if it rains and I can't drive my car rather, to my house during rainy season. I have to park at a petrol station by the junction and get a rain boot to go to the house. Problem D. So there's no way you want to tell me that area would develop in a rapid manner. All right. So you let us know. We'll open up the phone lines in a bit and get your reaction on this particular one. It sounds like it is not a big deal of a conversation until the rain starts, until the flood starts. We now start seeing videos online. We'll come back from this commercial break first.
More news and information coming up. We'll be
because we have two, I call them distinguished honorables. Mazi, like you know, is already in the studio here, and we just got joined by Dr. Usang. Good morning, Doctor.
Morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
It's the finest.
Welcome. Good to have you in the studio.
Mazi is always, you know.
We have to give him that. Mazi, are you an Arsenal fan?
No, I don't do football.
Oh, you don't do football.
Mazi does money. He does money.
Money club.
All right, Doctor, before you came in, well, I'm sure you must have been listening.
I was listening.
Yeah, we're discussing about this flood issue. And right now, Gabriel said we did make noise because it's not an interesting conversation to have, but it's a very necessary conversation to have. The National Emergency agency just warned, the director warned that people who are living by waterways in Abuja should relocate. Now, I don't know where people are going to start from, to begin to relocate. But do you see this as the deed has been done? Because how are people living in these places in the first place? Is there any part of Abuja that anybody can build a structure and no government and at the very least is aware of it? That you can build something that big, even if it's one room, and no government, there's no government presence whatsoever. Because how are we talking about people living in waterways or close to waterways in the first place? Are they supposed to be there? If they have to evacuate when the rainy season starts, it means they're not supposed to be there in the first place. So what do you have to say about this?
What I have to say is, first and foremost, I want to appreciate Nigerian Info Management for this privilege always. And, I want to thank all the fans as well for always listening. Without the fans, this program and this show is nothing.
Yeah.
And then, most importantly, I want to say hi to all Arsenal fans. We have done the impossible. We have done what they thought we couldn't do. And very soon you'll see me in my full glory.
Doctor, if I knew that you're an Arsenal fan,
you have off my mic.
If I knew that's where you're going to start from,
I didn't call my full glory. They will see me in my full glory after on Monday.
This red with your shirt is that not glory
I
enough?
said you see me in my full glory on Monday.
So now full red you go, yeah.
I said you will see me in full glory on Monday.
Good. Run out for us. We know the Arsenal.
All right, so
All right.
That is just on a lighter note. It's a sensitive matter. Now, first and foremost, I want to speak from the part of we as a people.
Okay.
And when I say we as a people, I'm talking about government. I'm talking about us because the government by the people of the people, whatever people. Now, in some part of the world, housing is taken as a very serious project.
Right.
Now, if you want to list the three basic needs of man, housing is one of it. Now, it is the responsibility and the duty of government, to make housing, and affordable housing for that matter, available to all. Now, where citizens have to help themselves build on the interim or, let me just say, non-permanent structure in places where they shouldn't be, just for the purpose of, let me just manage here, let me just be in Abuja, just want to tag along, is because that area of our life is still lagging behind. And I'm saying this carefully so that I'm not one person who loves pointing fingers. Over the years, I used to love pointing fingers, but I came to realize that every one of us, everybody, the press, the government, we are not totally free from some certain blames. Now, how do we have citizens who are workers, who run the economy, come to live in places that are waterways? We are saying relocate. Is it that relocate so we have provided this for you or whatever?
Very true.
So I am thinking that if we copy what is obtained in India, what obtained in India is that you can't see anybody just come to anywhere and put structure or estates before infrastructure. In our climb, you have estate opening up. No police station, no fire service, no electricity, nothing, no road. Hoping that road will come someday. And this way makes it possible for for some structure to be where they shouldn't be. What is obtained in India is that before you even have an estate or a building anywhere, there is already road, there's already water, there is light, there is police station, hospital. Those things are already there.
Before the estates now open up.
Yes, it's not estate before those things, it's those things before estate.
If that happens in Nigeria, those land will be selling at 1 billion per plot.
Well, it shouldn't be so. That's why I talked about the issue of affordability.
Right.
We should, because these are things that we should naturally have. I mean, have I mentioned anything that is out of the blues? No, these are basic things that we should have as a country. Now, then on the side of we the citizens, we should avoid this I must be in Abuja by all means. I must own a house in Abuja by all means. Some of these people that work in development control or where you are supposed to allow or not allow structure are living in extreme compromise. Mazi mentioned a place that was supposed to be like a garden, and then over time you see that there's some feeling. He mentioned a director. Remember that incident where a director got drowned?
Yeah.
You see, so if we have people who are supposed to be development control agent or whatever, and they are developing and controlling properly, you will have people, because you ask a question, is it possible to build anything, no matter how small, no matter how big, without government knowledge? The president cannot be there. The minister cannot be everywhere. There are people that have been assigned this responsibility to ensure that structures are put in proper places.
Right.
That's on one side. On the other side of we the citizen again, Gabriel, have you noticed that all dumb hills, okay, let me not say all, I don't have the statistics, but most dumb hills that I've seen, dumb sites that I've seen are by the waterways, they are by the drainage. I'll give you a typical example.
Very
Just
true.
drive along Jukwe from Nyanya towards that.
There's a
Jukwe.
canal there. That's my axis.
Every canal, oh, thank God, every canal has a dump site. And because we don't evacuate these dumps, this dirt on time, every time there are always, it's just overfilled.
How did that, thinking about this in just a doctor, it's actually true.
Yes.
Most of the dump sites, at least if you see 10, 6 to 7 of them.
No, 6 is small. If anybody
should
can
be
prove us
modest.
wrong, don't be modest. These are things that can be verified now. If you are driving along a Karishim, Karu, as is now, prove us wrong that all the dump sites are along the canal.
How did we come about that?
How do we come about that idea?
Who started that marriage
I don't
between
know.
dump sites and canal?
And most of these things are not evacuated on time. And then when we have this overflow, you remember that Jikoi road, there were many times this year where the road was not passable.
Yes.
Because of debt.
Yes.
Causing traffic. And when it's over full, it goes into the canal. And when it goes into the canal, when the rain comes, the canals are blocked and then the water overflows. Then we Nigerians, you drink a can water, bottled water, you throw it out of the car.
Okay.
You take what is not perishable, you throw it out of the car. What happens? All our gutters and drainages are blocked. And then we have these issues.
When people inside taxi, when they
No,
drink...
leave taxi. Inside SUV.
When they drink these things and they throw it on the road, where do they think the bottle is going?
I think that for me, there's something that Osam mentioned, which I also need to, point out something before this one you asked me. Dumping refuse close to canals and the same government who do that, because they are the ones who will even create that place and even ask their trucks to go and be heaping those rubbish
Not
there.
the citizens.
It's the same people that will come on air and tell us, don't block our drainage. That is hypocrisy. When the person who is supposed to direct us will not go and create a dump site close to a canal, what do you think will happen? If during dry season, wind can actually blow some of those nylons, some of those paper to the canal.
That's true.
When rain comes, rain will even wash some straight to that place. Yes. Even the one that is on Kubwa Road, I don't know if they've removed it. It's even close to that bridge before you go to an NPC.
Okay. Go and ask Osilama. Ask anyone
Close
who
to
was
that
part
place.
of this Clean Abuja initiative. The one we did in Kubwa was exactly on that canal. In fact, one of the guys that does this debt, he wanted to attack us.
Yes, those Bolo guys.
Yes, right.
In fact, even at that phase 4 bridge, it's almost like it's a normal thing for you to drive. You fling stuff from your car. But just the people that you mentioned, who when you drink from let's just say it's not even rampant with taxi. It's luxury cars that even abuse that.
Leave taxi. When you say taxi, you think it's
it's the big cars, the SUVs, those expensive cars.
Nigerian money. We are talking about those who are big.
You drink water, you just
by
fling
government
it from your window.
Those who are supposed to even severe. I mean, those who are supposed to ensure that we live in a safe environment, whose business is either contract or they have a private businesses in Nigeria.
When the flood starts, because it's clearly will. NIMET has dropped critical warning. NEMA too on a national level. I think they've cited about 7,000 plus communities across Nigeria that will be flooded by flood this year. I'm just thinking in my head, Gabriel, the fact that we're having this conversation now, when these things start, is that going to make me feel better that we spoke about it? I don't think so. Because at that time, we were talking about destruction. People would have lost properties. So I want us to move on from this topic and go to other ones very quickly. But I want us to talk about what is the low-hanging fruit actionable step now. The Oga of the FEMD said they should relocate. I don't know how realistic, but maybe there's some sense and logic in that, because when the rain starts, after all, you are not the rain is going to pursue you.
Yeah.
So maybe you can as well just rally around now and get some money and move out. But at the same time, is that realistic? What is the actionable step?
You can't tell people to relocate when you don't even have. We talked about housing not too long now. Just like he mentioned, you don't go this what do you call this Jahiland? Do you know why that place developed at a very slow speed? No infrastructure, no drainage, nothing, and people bought lands in that place waiting. If not for the other administration that started, doing road drainages and so on before started building, you are supposed to provide those. If you allocate land, the first thing that you're supposed to do, that drainage, the electricity thing, before people will now start building. But in Nigeria, it looks like you allocate land, they will start digging their foundation.
Yes.
Much later, road will come, drainage will come later. And by the time you're bringing the drainage and all these other things, a lot of things have been destroyed. I still think that we need planning. Federal Ministry of Housing shouldn't just be paying salaries and so on and so forth. The other day I mentioned China. How that China has a city fully built that nobody is living in now. He talked about India. But this Chinese city, nobody is there. They are already planning ahead of their population growing in the next 10 years. They have a city ready.
So there's a provision
to accommodate, to suck in those population when they keep coming. They have everything. Market, hospital is there ready. Here, you are not even making efforts, even when you do your so-called low-cost housing thing. The low cost is enough for drivers, security, and so on and so forth. So, and it's still the same class of people who will go and be building in some of those places because they cannot afford to buy the government land, the one that you allocate by the right agency that is supposed to sell land to people. So the alternative is you see any space close to waterway where people are found, you dig something there. If you are not providing where people will live, and housing is basic need of human being apart from food and clothing.
For those living in those areas, as a doctor, what is your advice to them right now?
My advice is first and foremost, if where they were building, if where they built was authorized, had document, government should compensate them and relocate them.
Yeah.
If people build there illegally, if they built there illegally, in the first place, that means they have violated
the law.
The law. In that case, one will say they have themselves to blame. You can't allocate a land to someone. He paid a stipend and he's paying utility bills or whatever, and now you just say relocate to where? So it's in two ways. If you build your house in an unauthorized place in a way that is infringing on the right of other citizens, maybe it will cause environmental whatever now. We don't owe you any apology. We don't owe you any sympathy. Well, humanly speaking, you have some level of sympathy, but the foundation is already faulty.
As a matter of fact, you building on that place is a inconvenience to other people.
To other people. So in that case, relocate. But government, if you are located a place to someone and you have noticed that okay, right now it's dangerous, please, it is your duty.
All right.
Relocate them and with full compensation.
All right. Okay. let's hope that some of these things being suggested or advised are done. Quickly move on to the next story, and we'll throw open the phone lines. FCT residents resort to charcoal, firewood, amid rising energy costs. Now, when I saw this particular report, I was thinking to myself, do people still use charcoal in this age? And please don't mind me if you think that this guy, you know, grow up in village. My brother, I didn't grow up in the village. I can't lie for you. But it's actually a very serious, because when I began to unpack this particular headline too, I saw quite some interesting details or data. I'll now share them with you. All right. So what the report says, rising energy and living costs in the FCT and environs have forced many residents to abandon liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, what you call cooking gas, for firewood and charcoal to meet household demands, with cooking gas prices fluctuating between 1.4 and 1.5 per kilo. Households are adopting cheaper traditional cooking methods to survive. The residents expressed concern over the rising cost of cooking gas and charcoal in separate interviews with News Agency of Nigeria reporters. They said that they relied on a combination of charcoal, firewood, and cooking gas over time, noting that households were now adopting alternative cooking methods to cope with increasing living expenses. A survey by reporters indicated that a bag of charcoal now sells between 8,000 and 10,000 naira, while 5 pieces of firewood were sold for a negotiable price of 2,000 to 2,005. 5 pieces of firewood. All right. A single piece goes for 300 to 500 naira, while a liter of kerosene sells for between 2,020 naira and 2,100 naira. I don't know if you're getting the math here. So a single piece of firewood sells for like between 300 and 500 naira. And that firewood,
depending on the size.
Depending on the size. I know Mazi would.
Maybe or quality. Who will get quality?
I don't say, now Mazi territory.
Exactly.
But a liter of kerosene is 2,020 naira to 2,100 naira. 1 liter of kerosene. That's enough to cook beans now. Anyways, according to him, cooking gas remained a preferred option because of its convenience and cleanliness. But many households were now gradually returning to firewood and charcoal due to affordability challenges. Speaking to some Abuja residents when they were doing the survey. One of them says, before now, I could refill my 12.5 kg cylinder for about 14,000 naira or less, but now it costs between 16,000 to 70,000 or more, depending on the station. We sometimes have to reduce how often we cook with gas and alternate with charcoal instead, or buy less than 10 kg to manage. Certain Mrs. Nkechi Desmond, resident of Duselaji, said the charcoal has now become her alternative cooking fuel in spite of its rising price. She said that the situation has left many families combining charcoal, gas, and firewood depending on its affordability at the time of need and quantity of meal to be prepared. I'm just thinking about a family of 6, for example, and how they will, because even people will get a small family size, where we say, you know how much you spend to run the home. I'm not even talking about, let's not even begin to open our this thing on air right now. But when I began to check, right, independent gas plant operators in towns like Maraba, which is not Abuja, but let's say Yanya, Lugbe, Kogolada, report a 30% to 40% drop in volume sales over the last 2 quarters. That's over the last 6 months. Middle income homes are no longer filling 12.5 kg cylinders at once. They are buying, maybe they buy 2,000 today, buy 3,000 today. It's no longer about the kgs, it's about the amount you have. Anyone way 5K, if you give you, 9 go collect. And we've spoken about the hazards of charcoal.
Always.
So, charcoal too, it's trees that were felled. I'll just allow people who know more about this.
Allow us the locals.
But should we be concerned? Is this a concern?
It's a major concern, sir. First and foremost, I mean, I want to appeal to our government. Let's not get to the level where 2 households can buy a loaf of bread and share. the price of things, the rate of inflation is alarming. It's a major concern. If some people are relatively comfortable, we shouldn't take it for granted that there are some people who cannot even think of some certain kind of bread. That's on one side. On the other side, sir, I think the issue or the comparison between firewood, charcoal, kerosene, and gas is a thing of the mind. If you want to do total analysis, you will discover that it's like a penny wise, pound foolish. I don't think firewood and charcoal is cheaper compared to the convenience and the comfort you get from gas. It is a mind thing. You know, there's this mentality over time. You see people who can even afford cylinder, even when it was not expensive. Meanwhile, permit me to remind the person who talked about 14,000. This is even going too far. We bought that same size about 2,800 not too long ago, not many years ago. 2,800 when it was going
for 12.5 kg.
Yes. When it was going to 6,000, we were complaining. 8,000 were complaining. No, I'm not telling you of 5 years ago. So that rate is not encouraging, and something has to be done. So going back to what I'm trying to say, sir, right from time, even when it was 2,000 naira that 14 kg, some people still found it
expensive.
Yes, and then they preferred stove, kerosene stove that comes with so much smoke, blackening of your pot, and all of that. Preferred wood is a mind thing. It's just like saying, if you drive your car with the AC, it consumes more fuel. Well, that may be true, because I know that the load on the car, even including the lighting, also tells, it's like you can't be fasting and doing heavy work. So that supports the argument that the more you load the car, the more fuel
it consumes to propel.
But sir, the difference between gas and this firewood and charcoal is not much. You are actually spending more. You realize that a stick of firewood is about 4,000. You also ask yourself a question: can that cook beans? You talked about a bag of charcoal about 8,000 naira. Then what is the convenience? How long is that going to serve you? So while we will pray, believe, and even blame government for this rising increase in gas, which I pray and hope that it drops drastically soon enough, I don't think that the way of charcoal is that cheap.
Okay. All right. Mazi, yes, we have a few seconds.
For me, I think that you might be right. It could be a thing of the mind, but I don't live in town. I stay in a village. I think that the bag of charcoal.
Village.
Yeah. I stay in the village side of.
Are you sure Kuba, other people
exactly
will be happy with that thing?
No,
you cannot. I will not accept him to say.
Let me say this. Okay.
Talk, news and sports after this.
Yeah, so this is Jolly Johnny on the street.